Hi everyone, welcome back to Edu-Astro once again. Today we are back in the numerology series with our karmic numbers. Last time it was a very fantastic session where we started the karmic numbers. Today is the second one where we are going to cover the 14 by 5. We have Renu with us. Welcome Renu once again. And let's talk about the 14 by 5s and the interesting part of having this karmic number and where do they need to focus and what they need to do. Right? So, Renu, 14 by 5, if we were to look at it, has 1, 4, and 5. And 1 we had discussed in our life path numbers was represented by Sun, 4 was represented by Rahu, and 5 was represented by Mercury. Now, look at the beauty of the universe that right now Sun and Rahu both are in Pisces, in Aries, and according to the sidereal zodiac, that is your Vedic astrology. And right now, around next week, we are going to have the solar eclipse of this year. So Rahu is coming to capture Sun, and we are right now dealing with the subject of 14 by 5, which was not originally planned that we should be doing it around solar eclipse, but it has automatically happened. So I think we are doing this video at the correct time. Hopefully people will get benefit from there. And so let's start off what our 14 by 5 is for and what do we do.
Sure. So, in our last video, we spoke about what are karmic debts and when they have an effect, as in when it is your life path number or a destiny number. So, we made it very clear to everyone that it's a lifelong learning lessons that is there that one has to go through. One has to be well prepared mentally, emotionally, and physically, because this is something you cannot avoid. So at the same time, if it becomes easier for the karmic debt numbers, people who have these numbers, it becomes easy for them when you start accepting it, when you embrace it and move further in life. So this is something that we highlighted in our last video. So karmic numbers 13 by 4, 14 by 5, 16 by 7, and 19 by 1. So something, the commonality, if we look at it, the one number remains in all the karmic debts. So something that we need to understand. So if we take calculation, can we start with the calculation?
Yes.
Kabir?
Yes.
So let's take a date of birth. Last time we took 23rd March 1985. So I'm just changing the year here. That is 1986. So when we add the year, that is 1 plus 9 plus 8 plus 6. So it comes down to 24. Reduce it further to single digit, that is 6. 24, single digit will be 6. So 5, 23. Reduce it to again single digit 5 plus 3 plus 6. It comes down to 14 by 5.
Right. So the resultant sum would be 14, and you will keep that. Along with it, you will reduce the 14 to 5, and you will have to look at 14 by and 5 together for this particular date of birth.
Right.
Cool. Makes sense. Great. So let us dissect into 1, 4, and 5, the 14 by 5.
So 14 by 5, number 1, what does it represents in the karmic debt number? That is 1, if it is a negative impact, which is something that you're carrying from your past life. That means the ego, selfishness, self-centeredness carried by the person from the past life. 4 means avoiding hard work and avoidance of responsibilities in the past life, because of which the person has to go through the negative aspects of 1 and 4. So the person in the past lifetime, they have misused the freedom, what was given to them. They were irresponsible, shunning of their responsibilities to others, not working hard in their lifetime. So something that they are carrying, something that they are not aware about. As you said that in the last video, right? There is an imprint that they bring it from their past life. They are not aware about it, and they still continue doing it. So that is something is 14. That is the karmic debt.
Got it. So if I were to look at it, one represented by sun is your ego, is your self-centeredness, or rather, I would say your intelligence and individuality. If sun is working fine, then it becomes very good as an individual, as an intelligent person. If it doesn't work fine, you have misused those particular things, then obviously it will turn into your negative ego, your vanity, and your self-centeredness, or you can call it selfishness. One. Then you have four, which is Rahu, the master of shortcuts and the master of illusion. Right? So if you are not adhering to what has been asked for you to be learned, obviously you will be in an illusion with yourself. And at the same time, you would want to have the shortcuts that other people do your work. And you have to learn that what it means by yourself, you doing the work. And number five, Mercury. Mercury is all the knowledge which you get by reading, writing, doing everything, right? And that is responsible for your youth too, Mercury. So if you do not work on yourself, Sun, if you do not do things yourself by yourself, Rahu, automatically the impact goes to five. You are not able to understand any knowledge or learn anything properly. Those automatically the result will be five. So all the 14s by fives should be more careful about the fact that whatever they do or whatever they don't do, the answer will be on the number five. The impact will be on the number five, which is actually learning something for which you have come. Right? And they have to learn throughout their life, right? And they have to understand that if you have been given freedom, the freedom is majorly to evolve yourself and rather not get into things which actually are either self-destructing or destructive for others. Correct?
Correct.
Now, if we were to look at this, see these people now, somehow or the other, how much ever they try, they will have an inner voice, but they will not be able to listen to it because they want a shortcut. And I would always suggest whenever you want to have a meaningful life in terms of understanding, knowing things, doing your things, you should look up to somebody or rather get a mentor, or you can say guru, a teacher, a brother, a big brother, father, anybody senior, experienced, whom you can actually confide in and look up to them. If you do that, it becomes very easy for you to concentrate on the real parts where you need. Sometimes you might be taking a shortcut yourself, but somebody, if he tells you and you listen to him, then you would not fall into that trap. This is one of the most important things for the 14 by 5s. The honesty which you spoke about. Need to be honest with yourself. And obviously, they have a sun, they have a Rahu, and they have Mercury. They will have a voice in the head and they will have a voice in the heart. If they can balance these two, it will be fantastic. A guru and a mentor will always help, right? But it will come with time. It doesn't come on the first day. It takes time. So with this, Renu, what are the areas where they would need to be focused on? The 14 by 5.
So, as we said, 5 is something that they have to focus on. So, if we look at the positive parts of 5, as in 5s are fearless, they are adventurers, fun-loving, flexible, adaptable, pleasant personalities, balanced outlook towards life. They know the balance, how to balance between commitment and escapism. They are not judgmentals. If we remember the our video for number 5, they are the coolest of all. They know if they are in your team, they know how to balance the yin and yang that we say. So something that we really have to the 14 people with karmic debt 14, they should focus on that. Channeling your energy into constructive activities that help humanity. Something that 14 or even 5, they always have is the natural gift to work with special needs people. People with special needs, they bond very well. They work towards them, towards their grooming part, or to help them. So I think if they work towards it, that is something they are going to find a way or a direction. Breaking addictive patterns. Addictions can be anything, something related to smoking, or even people have addiction for coffee, TV, or alcoholism, anything.
I
So
would
they
even
need
add
to have
here addiction towards, say, for example, video games, or addiction towards gambling.
a right.
Anything in excess is an addiction. So only the substance addiction is not the only addiction. You might have an addiction of not doing anything, just sitting there and relaxing. That is also an addiction, right? Suddenly you take an escape route and your mind goes somewhere else and you don't deal with the situation in front. That is also an addiction. So anything which is not in balance is an addiction, and that is what they need to strive to get in. Right? Create the balance. If you have,
So,
say for example, you might like sweets. Okay, good. But if you have lots of sweets, it's an addiction and it will lead you to somewhere else. So it's the balance which these guys need to focus on, and that's how they will be able to tackle the addiction.
right. So when we were talking about the freedom that they look for, so it is not only the freedom that they look for a relationship or the addictions. Freedom from the addictions is something like that. For an example, if we take electronic gadgets, wherein people spend so much of time, it is supposed to give us freedom, but actually, if we look at it, most of the time, your energy, your focus is taken away by these gadgets. So
And
we have to understand that you have to use
yes,
your freedom in a constructive way.
and it lies
Sitting
within
out.
you. The point is, it lies within you. You have to be balanced. You cannot blame the device. It is giving you information. It is doing the job it is doing. But you have to be balanced enough to use it when it needs to be used. That is what these guys need, or rather everybody, but specifically these guys need.
And these people, 14 by 5, they have great ideas. But
Hmm.
when they have to execute it, what is there? It is like they restrict themselves because there is 4, which says limitations and restrictions. So
Hmm.
something that they fear in their mind, that what if I fail? So they
Correct.
have to work on these limitations. So have to free themselves from fear and become fearless. That is what number 5 is. They are not scared of taking chances. They are not afraid of taking a leap of faith and trying something new. So
Right.
that is something they have to focus on. Then something that is being patient with yourself and others. Because when we are talking about development, need to understand that when you start working on these development areas or focus areas, one has to have patience, because changes takes time, and for that requires patience with yourself and also the people around you, because even they will take time to understand you.
Very true. And with this, if we can add one or two more areas where the developmental areas which the 14 by 5s had, because this is all going in a chronological order, and we have come to that point where we can add two more points for the developmental areas. One, as you said, be patient with yourself and others. Very important, right? You can't change everything in a day. It will take time, continuous effort. Other than that, what else can these guys focus on?
So usually what happens with karmic debt numbers is that people don't understand it, and whatever situation comes in, they start blaming others, or they start blaming their luck, that whatever is not moving ahead or they are not able to move ahead is because of others. So inability to move forward with success, that is the problem.
Hmm.
They feel that it's all taking far too much work and it's all taking far too much time. They need to stick to their commitments because they have a tendency for looking out for options, whether it is a relationship, whether it is a career. The stability issue is the problem. They don't commit to one. That is where they have to work on it. And we have already covered addictions. That means they have to learn when to detract yourself before it becomes an addiction.
Very true. Very true. Now, I'll add one very small thing over here. See, in the beginning, we spoke about the eclipse coming in next week for this year, first eclipse, solar eclipse, and it is always either preceded or followed by a lunar eclipse. Always it will happen 14 days. In solar eclipse, in this solar eclipse, you have a Rahu and you have a Sun. Rahu and Sun, they come at the same degree and the Sun is engulfed. Then the eclipse is formed. Look at the number of these 14 by 5s. What happens? Achha, by the way, Mercury is a planet, number 5. Mercury is a planet which is nearest to the Sun and always very near to the Sun. So either it will be with Sun or within 30 degree to the right or 30 degree to the left. It will not go farther than that, ever. Right? So Mercury will always be there, near about Sun, right? In this 14 by 5, you have a 1, which is Sun, you have a 4, which is Rahu. Eclipse is already happening. In their natal constitution of molecules, eclipse is already happening. They are born with an eclipse. Okay. The impact obviously will be on Mercury, which is always nearest to the Sun, because Sun's energy is not going to Mercury. Right? Number 5 gets impacted. So if you look at it, number 1, number 4, they come together. Number 5 is impacted. They are born with this combination, and thus the good qualities of the Sun, they are, they started getting diminished, or they are overpowered by Rahu. Now Rahu is a node, is a mathematical calculation. They are very much powerful. It is more powerful than the planets themselves. What happens is they extract the energy of whosoever they are sitting with, and Rahu will amplify. So if your individuality is selfishness, Rahu will amplify selfishness. If your individuality is being intelligent and doing good for people, Rahu will amplify. And according to that amplification, Mercury will get impacted. Number 5. So if you work on your Sun, it becomes very, very easy for you to control the energy of Rahu. And once that is controlled, 5 automatically gets fixed. For this, I'll just give you one very important thing. Give water to Sun every day. And there is a specific way of giving water to Sun. All the karmic numbers you said has 1 in them. Sun is impacted. And if Sun is impacted, then obviously there will be a problem in the family with the father or the seniors, or anywhere, seniors in your workspace or anywhere. Okay? So giving water to Sun is a very good remedy, but there is a specific way of giving water to the Sun, which obviously it's a bit long, we cannot cover in the video, but it is more about, discipline. If you are disciplined enough and you have a clear conscience, you have the thought process of doing things properly, regularly, on time. Right. That is what is going to improve your Sun. And because of which your Rahu energy will be controlled. So 1 energy improves, 4 energy is controlled, 5 automatically improves.
Shines.
Yeah. This is the shortcut remedy for the 14 by 5. If they can follow this, they can just turn around their lives. And obviously, we are going to look into the personalities. When we look into that, we will see those guys have actually done something like this when they started to shine. Right? Before that, obviously, 14 by 5 is not an easy thing to tackle, because you have a Rahu energy there, and it is more powerful than any planet. But if you improve the brightness of your planet, right, Rahu automatically gets controlled. It's as simple as that. Right? Right. So in this case, right, what would be the famous personalities? They are, we can link with 14 by 5.
So we have famous personalities from everywhere this time. So first one, that is the different field, if we look at it, whether politicians, social reformers, authors, writers, entertainment industry. So starting with Smriti Irani, then social reformer like Anna Hazare. Then we have writer like Jhumpa Lahiri. We have from the entertainment industry like Ustad Bismillah Khan, Pandit Ravi Shankar, Look at numerologist Bijan Daruwala himself. Entertainment industry is taboo. So, I feel that these celebrities are a great examples of life path number 14 by 5. So simple, if you understand what are your development areas, if you channelize your energy well, you focus towards your goal without thinking about the results, so certainly success will be there in life.
Yes, very true, very true. And see, as I told you, Rahu is a very powerful energy. And if you channelize your sun properly and you take control of the Rahu, then Rahu will amplify that. It will take you to great levels, and obviously your five will shine, and you will reach to great places. Okay. Renu, so if we were to conclude, what would be the takeaways in a very short format for our viewers and listeners? What would you say?
So 14 by 5, I would say that something that they have to balance between their mind and heart desires, something that they have to work on. So the vibration of 14 by 5, it teaches them how to deal with the unfamiliar, and it often comes with sudden change and unforced events. So instead of getting scared to take that next steps, one has to learn to be flexible and trust yourself. Take a leap of faith and see how it works for you.
Exactly. And I would like to add here that the suddenness you mentioned, this is the major characteristic of our Rahu, number 4. So as I explained the entire thing, Rahu is overpowering this entire thing. So everything will be sudden for these people. And the major events in life will be very sudden. So if they don't get afraid, they just accept it, rise to the occasion, they can go to places. This was a fantastic discussion today. Thank you very much for your time. And we will be back again with another karmic number very soon, probably next week. And till then, thank you, everybody. Please do like, share, subscribe, and we will see you soon. Bye-bye.